We have snow today. So before I started my journey, I mentioned that I was led to a series of videos on the holographic universe. And I got triggered by the last one because essentially it said that you're just an observer of your life. And I'm like, I don't want to be just an observer, I want to be a participant. So I kind of know what it means now. What I think it means, this is my interpretation, is that you're still a participant, but you choose what you want to experience and then you observe it. And you don't meddle in the unfolding of it. So, like, say you want to experience a baseball game and you pick a game you want to go to, and then you enjoy the process when you go there. You don't like get all involved in picking the players and telling the coach what to do. You just go to the game and you watch it. But same thing if you want a job, a particular kind of job, you choose the job that you want. You choose the kind of job that you, the kind of experience you want in that job, and then you enjoy the ride. And then if you don't like it anymore, you change it up. Say, I want a promotion, or I want a big raise, or I want a corner office, or whatever. And kind of make it your own, but you just back off in the meddling because you decide the outcome, and then everything else fills in, and you just follow the script. It's pretty much what happens here. So, I don't know. I want to comment about what's real and what's not. And we should kind of define what's real, I guess. Because it depends on your perception, your perspective. Ultimately, nothing is real. I mean, the experience is real, but that's it. Like, the physical is all a movie, it's all an illusion. So, there really isn't anything real per se. And you are at the center of all of it. You are manifesting it all. So yeah, like, even your family, even people in your life, not real. And yet it is real because you're experiencing it. So, like, going from hoax events to seeing it kind of like street theater, it's like all a movie, but it's made to look like a movie as well, to make it obvious so that you see the holes. But then your own life is full of street theater, so it's not real either. So if your own life is street theater, nothing, it's all the same thing, it's all a movie. It's beautiful out here. A little chilly, but I'm dressed appropriately today. But I'm like calm and happy and sort of serene and just knowing that everything's going to be fine. And I'm looking back on my journey and I'm like, not just the truth journey, like my whole life journey. This little piece of hair. I'm looking back on my whole life journey and comparing it to where I am now. And I'm like, how did I get here? How did I get here? How did this happen? How is this real life? How is this my story? How is this unfolding the way that it is? What's going on? And I mean all these questions, kind of open-ended, rhetorical questions, really. More about marvel and delight. I don't really need answers. Not right now, anyway. But when, you know, I think about the spell I was under, and then the fear, and then getting out of the fear and going through all that discovery, and then getting here, I'm like, what? How did this happen? Like I said, it's just an automatic process. But so much has happened. All of it internal. Well, some of it external. Some of it's like manifesting outside. But a lot of it's internal. And then, you know, I'm just like, what? I'm looking around and I'm just observing, and I'm just taking it in and appreciating the physical, and I'm appreciating my story, and I'm appreciating this experience, and I have a sense of what's to come, and I'm enjoying the unfolding of it. And I'm excited. I'm like a little kid on Christmas morning or Christmas Eve. And I don't know. It's fun now. And it's sort of like, it's time to play. It's time to play. Have some fun with it. See where we can go, what we can do. And you know, some time ago, it was like 2018, I think it was, I said I wanted to know what my powers were. I wanted to know what we can do here. Well, starting to find out. I mean, I knew some of it, but this is the stuff that I didn't know, you know? So, yeah, like we're entering into new territory here, which is great. It's interesting, it's exciting, it's fun, it's revealing. And it's like, it's starting to show how surrounded we are by love. So the other day, I'm with my parents, and my parents start talking about something, and I don't hear. Well, I do hear what they say, but I don't listen to it, you know what I mean? I read past it. So, oh man, it's my stupid neighbor again. Like, how come? It's like fucking clockwork. So yeah, what I meant by that is, when people say things to me, I now look at it from the perspective of they're all in the know and they're dropping clues, if you understand what I'm talking about. So, like I was mentioning before, so here's the true story at the top. And that's your best life scenario, which is you having everything you want. And that's like you and your higher self and everybody around you all awake and aware, and we're all happy and living in paradise. And like, I don't mean that it's up here as in a physical place. It's just like a comparison method. So at the top is all your best life, and in that story everybody knows everything, and then there's like countless infinite iterations of that story. but all the stories are the same. So if you've seen Once Upon a Time, they show you how they transition from one story to the other, where they do exactly the same thing from one story to the other. So if they're a bartender in modern life and a bartender in the 1500s, then you will see them pass a beer in modern life in the same time they pass a beer in 1500s. And then you can see how they're living the same life and doing the same story and doing it simultaneously in each life. And if it's not a bartender that they are, then they might be at a party, but they're serving their guests, so it's like being a bartender, so they'd be passing a beer to a friend at their own party, that sort of thing. And it's like the TV Watching You, where I showed you that the transition points of the Brooklyn Bridge and the tie and everything, you're doing the same thing in every story at the same time. So it's like the story exists without, like, the backdrop doesn't matter. And anyhow, my point is that if I start listening to what the story is and what is being told to me, regardless of what is actually being said, I'm listening to it as if I'm my higher self hearing the story. Do you know what I mean? Probably not. So like everything is coded. So it's like hearing the codes instead. You are looking for the subtext from your higher perspective. So that's how I listen to people around me from now on. I don't hear the 3D context. I hear, let's say, 5D context or higher self context, ultimate story context. And they're basically telling me about my true story. And so I find it funny because I don't even know if they're aware that that's what they're saying. Like, even if they're joking around and say something offhand and it sounds like it's a joke, it's probably not a joke. They probably mean it. And if you know what your story is, then it makes perfect sense. But if you don't know what your story is, it might be a little difficult. So life is a little bit more interesting when you see it that way. And also, you know, like, we have this idea, well, it's in the fairy tales and everything, and I've shown it in my videos, where at the end of the story, everyone's happy and dancing together, and you know, like in My Life as a Fairy Tale, they're all dancing together and they're all awake and they're not in character anymore. And then you see that in Snow White and Life is, who is it? This is the Story of Your Life video at the end of that one as well. Final countdown at the end of that one, they're all dancing and they're out of character. Like, that's the point. It's like, you're out of character, you're dancing because you know it's just a play and you know it's just for fun. And so everybody around you is aware of it and having fun now. And it's like all of us are up here in that story talking to ourselves down here going, hey, you know, it's just a story, don't take it so seriously, like, enjoy it. So yeah, when you get to that level and you can see all of the people around you talking to you that way, then you can start to see them as their higher selves. That's what I'm trying to get at.